Hi, Sadiq. Thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Pleasure.
So this is a question, there's kind of two questions. First one is, when are you going to make me feel safe again in the city I grew up in? And the second one is, what are you doing to combat violent crime in London? Things are getting out of hand and police presence is lower than ever.
Yeah, so violent crime has gone up in London and across England and Wales since 2014. One of the first things that I did when I became mayor was to impress upon the government this is a national problem that demands national solutions. Over the last 7 years, we as a city have lost more than £700 million of funding. We've lost more than 3,000 police officers, more than 3,000 police staff, on top of that more than 3,000 community support officers. And I think there is a link between cutting police resources, cutting youth centre facilities, cutting off school clubs and the increase in violent crime. So what I'm doing is, whilst lobbying the government, in the meantime, invest in record sums in policing and other services. So for example, this year I used an increase in council tax, but also I diverted business rates towards more police, £110 million in more policing, but also £45 million in things for young people to do, to keep them busy and engaged. So for me, it's a combination of three things. Enforcement, we've got a new violent crime task force, specialist team targeting those who are carrying knives and guns. Prevention and diversion, giving young people constructive things to do. We're still one of the safest global cities in the world, but I'm not happy as long as anybody feels unsafe in our city.
Is it difficult to balance policing and enforcement with not stigmatising BAME people?
It's really important. Look, we don't want to have a situation that was there when I was young growing up. If I saw a police officer when I was growing up, I'd cross over the road. Why? Because the police officer would just stop me, tell me to empty my pockets out and give me a hard time. And we saw a change in the last 15 years where the police force became a police service, where they were doing assemblies, mingling with communities in events at school fairs or at an event at a mosque or a temple or a synagogue. And that was important because it meant the public have confidence in the police and will provide intelligence and be witnesses. That's gone. Why? Because officer numbers have been reduced hugely. And so the police are chasing their tails to some extent, working incredibly hard. My worry is we break down the trust and confidence between particularly black, Asian, minority ethnic communities and the police, both of which need each other, rely upon each other to keep our cities safe. And that's why I'm confident the body-worn camera is the game changer. It will give young people the confidence that when the police may stop and search them, sometimes it may be they're not carrying a weapon, that they're treated courteously, there's a good interaction, and that sort of customer relations gives the public confidence. We can't have a situation where minority communities haven't got confidence in the police, or the police prejudge people because of the colour of their skin. That's not the way I want to live in London.